Hello and welcome to part 1 of my playthrough of Soul Sacrifice Delta in English. Now my main game is actually on the Japanese version, so in this one it's mainly to show you guys the entire story. Play through the main story, all the side stories, show you off the monsters, the spells, stuff like that, so I will not be including any grinding sessions, where if I just need to grind for something over and over again, I'm not going to show it. But I will show you at least all the hunts. Or the packs, as I'll say, so we'll get through it. So without further ado, let's just jump in. I am going to tell you guys that I'm going to shut up during the story parts because the point of this whole playthrough is to enjoy the story and world, but I will be talking during the gameplay sections, so hopefully you guys will enjoy my commentary that I might have there. And you know, maybe at a later date, if people want it, I will cut out the gameplay sections and just make one large or 2 or 3 large story videos. Anyways, that's enough blabbing on. Let's get into this darn game, shall we? Now, one thing to note here is that the download button currently, as of October 15th, does not work. About a week ago, the online servers went down, and Sony's not exactly being clear on what happened. They're still not back up. It's the same with Freedom Wars or anything that's Sony Vita that they published, so I hope it's not intentional. But they are still selling like the online pass, which is really weird because you can't play online right now, so that would be kind of illegal if they did that. So hopefully we'll get a response back, but as far as I can tell, we'll know in a little bit all the DLC monsters, which I say DLC, but it was free updates. They are all included in the version update. So if we're correct, then you're not really missing out on anything except the ability to play online via the internet, which you don't need to have a lot of fun with this game. And you can still platinum the game without having the online. So I know that's important for some people. Okay, now I'm just blabbing on. Let's do this. You can tell this is why I don't stream games. I'm not used to talking while I play, especially when I am alone. In this world, the weak of heart succumb to greed, but their crimes will not go unnoticed, for the sorcerers are watching. It is they who mete out punishment to the guilty, they who murder in the name of justice. Nice, sets the tone.
Did you hear that awful cry? Did you hear that awful cry? What should I do? I'm next. I can't bear to think of the pain. How terrible it must be. He is called Magusa, an evil sorcerer who devours human sacrifices. Help me! I hear footsteps! Magusa's henchmen have come! No! Wait! Please, no! How I'd wished I could keep my power from you. Oh no, my secret's discovered. So much for my great escape. I couldn't tell anybody that I was reading that book. I was almost there. I was so close to learning Magusa's secret.
Yeah, you! Over here! You must read me next. It's your destiny. Did you just see how that last one died? Hurry up and hide me, you idiot, before Magusa discovers me! That hurt, you bumbling fool! Calm down, you spineless half-wit. I am Librom. I am a book, and a fine one at that. I am the journal of a certain sorcerer. But I am no ordinary journal. You can revisit my contents in Phantom Quests. Go on, have a feast.
I just love the way they set up the story. Like, they have a story conceit, like a setting, an explanation for every mechanic in the game. It's so good.
We are companions. We walk this blood-stained road together.
Wait, I'm your companion? What? Yeah, so they're going to show me how the basic games works, which is we have 6 spells with the 3 buttons, both square, triangle, and circle, and we can toggle through them using the R button. So, for example, I can heal. I can put up a wall. I can shoot some fire. Toggle back over. Let's see, we got a dashing blitz attack here. Boom. Can lock onto enemies. We have this dash thing, which allows us to do like super dashes. It lasts for an extended period of time, and we have weapons.
Good. Our work here is done. You are not injured, I trust.
Some God of War vibes coming up. It's the Leviathan. We're actually on its entire body. It's like a walking creature, and it's like a whole stage. It's pretty funny. So what you want to do with Leviathan is you just sort of wait for him to come at you, and then you just go and you beat on him. He's pretty straightforward. Bah! Hydro Pump from Pokemon. What is he doing? He's winding up, so I'm going to go over here to avoid it. Ha ha ha. I fought him enough times to know what to do. I do love these grand scale types of hunts, even if they're not that difficult. What are you doing, Magasar? Just sacrificed his flesh to do a fire attack.
Well, how did it feel to relive the past? What you saw was recreated from the journal. You met Magusar, I presume. Back before he went positively mad. No, you're not dreaming. This is just what I do. Every secret is written within me. To find the answers, read me to the end. I even tell the secrets of Magusa. Study the journal closely, and you may think of a way out of this terrible mess. You'd be the first to succeed. The rest have failed miserably, I'm afraid. Submit to Magusa or seek liberation. These are your only choices. Go on now, keep reading, for that is your only hope.
Okay, so we're now in the main menu. Of course, we'll have to go through the tutorial, which is one of the most important points of the story, so definitely do not skip this. But you can talk to the book.
What are you doing? You can't read a closed book. You won't get anywhere staring at me. Read.
He's got really great narration. I think you'll come to love him.
If you grow weary of this prison life, close your eyes and imagine a nice, warm place. Can you see it? Now welcome back to hell!
Oh, he's great. You can even, on the Vita, you can tap the back of the Vita to knock him over. It had gyro, so you can spin him. I don't know what you can do here, so I'm going to press L2 and R2. Try to simulate touch. And knock him over by touching the screen.
Now, imagine this. Someone pushes you, and you slam your noggin. That's painful, aggravating too. Well, that's how I feel right now, so don't push, idiot.
Let's try R2. It pushes him forward.
You seem to have me all wrong. I don't like licking the floor. I'm not a stupid mop, you know. You blithering idiot.
I'm guessing maybe the analog sticks can let me twirl him? No? No, I guess not. So maybe there's no gyro, so I can't twirl him. Okay, let's go ahead and start this journey. Dedication to my future self, the beast. Dot dot dot. Da, 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 da. So we'll start with the Mad Chronicle. Read the journal of a sorcerer's peculiar and dramatic destiny. Use the right stick or drag and flick to turn pages. Press the circle button to go back to the tables of contents. Gotcha.
Rise, or this will be your resting place.
I had been caught off guard, not cold by a monster. The woman mocked my vulnerability, my oafishness with cruel insults. Yet we had only just met.
Do anything to slow me down, you'll be the first to die.
Her name was Sortiara, and she was displeased at being my partner. It is the stone-cold truth. Many, taking the ordeal, forfeit their lives.
Phantom Quest. Select a pack to relive monster battles in a Phantom Quest. You may also directly tap a pact. Yeah, so this is pretty much how it plays out. You can go back, you can read the story again if you want to. You can skip past it and just get to the battle, and then when you clear it, the story will continue. So, me and Sortiara are out on an extermination pack, calling all sorcerers, exterminate these monsters. Lake Andromeda East, Goblin. Let's take out the runts. And it does show you the rewards that you can earn from the quest, which I really like. So we got the Falcon Feather, that's that thing that allows us to do really fast dashes that even have some iframes, I think. The Healing Seed, and then Swordsman Icebrand. And then a Faction Reward, which we'll get into later. Relive this Phantom Quest? Why, yes. Now loading. Yeah, so that they say here is, only some descendants of a certain lesser line have what it takes to perform spells. It is customary for such descendants to undertake the Ordeal when they approach adulthood. The Ordeal is this sort of journey, this pilgrimage, this test, which is it's like boot camp. It's going to make us into a sorcerer. Disposing of monsters is a sorcerer's duty. Even if they show their original form, grant them no mercy. Damn. It's getting pretty dark. So you could skip these intros, but it shows you just sort of the general arena. They're much smaller than the maps of Monster Hunter, but they're still, some of them can be kind of long, some of them can be very short, but they do offer some exploration, which is nice.
Stay the hell awake or die.
Yes, ma'am. Sortiara, she's great. So, offerings and spells. Make offerings of the things that you own and gain magical power in exchange for their life force. There are hundreds of items that can be used as offerings. To spell casting, press either square, triangle, or circle. It kind of reminds me of Squid Games, which I just watched with these buttons. Hold means you should hold down that button. Well, of course. Okay, so before we continue on, since she's being so nice and she's stopping for me, let me show you the spells that we have. We'll be able to change our appearance later, don't worry. So if we press the square button, we'll get the ice. And it's kind of hard to see, but it's like an ice spell, and you can hold it down to charge it 2 levels. Boom, very powerful ice magic. It's like a homing missile. It's very cool. Triangle will give us this huge, Fantastic Four-like arm. We can just... Now we have this active for X amount of seconds, like a minute or a minute and a half or whatever, and we can just punch, and it's like superly comical. There's like a combo we can do. But you can't break parts when we get to monsters. It's quite fun. What happens is after a period of time, this will sort of run out. We can do some support spells during it, like if we need to heal without getting rid of it. Or we can tap R, and it actually just gets rid of the spell altogether. Spells have limited uses. You can't use an offering over and over and over and over again. It will run out. I'll show you what that looks like, actually. So I'll show you the long punch is really funny. It's so comical. Sortiara is probably like, what the hell is he doing? Boom. Now if you notice it's now starting to glow, it means that I'm running out of my usages. So I can recharge this by sacrificing a monster. It will recharge 2 usages of a spell. Or there are some points around the map in which I can restore it as well, but you don't want to run it out to dryness. Otherwise, it says it's almost exhausted. It says consumption using an offering's magic consumes some of its power. An offering's power can be restored a number of ways. Destroyed offerings can be renewed using lacrima. Lacrima? I haven't played this in English, so I don't know the pronunciation. It's kind of funny they don't even tell you what that is, though. But they're already telling you about that. So I don't want to break it. If I use it now, there's a chance it'll break, and that means that I can never use a spell again for the rest of this quest. I actually have to pay an in-game currency to restore it. So I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to press the triangle button. For circle, we have... it's like a Gatling gun. Just start spurting your blood at everybody. If you notice, your life does go down as you use blood spells, but the cool thing is blood spells never break because you're dead and that's it. So you can use them as much as you want. And I can't tab over. I don't have any other spells. I don't have any heal spells or anything. So the next thing I will show you is if you press the down button on the D-pad, you enter a thing called Mind's Eye. I know it's like a Monster Hunter term, but it basically allows you to see things that normally you can't see. So for example, I could see the general condition of my teammate, which is nice. And you can also see these like sort of like glowing white things on the maps. Those are either armor, free weapons, or offering recharges. It's like a recharge station. So you can go through and recharge the usages. So let's go ahead and... Is there any enemies over here? You can't attack. You can't do anything while you're in this mode. Luckily, it's very easy to just tap in and out of. So if you notice, there's a stream here. And if we just go to it normally, this will come up. It says create armor. So if we hold down X, we'll draw the energy from the land. And boom, we've got ice armor on. So cool. The armor lasts for quite a while and really buffs your defense, which is nice. Trees will renew offering power, so if I hold that down, you'll see the bone icon. Ching! It's just giving me a slight little glow. So it restores 2 castings of it. And then these little blue dots, these are like little collectibles that you definitely want to do as you go through the game. They're called Spirit or Soul Essence, and it's random what you get, so we'll just hold. And we get Warlock LE gained. I'm not a fan of that translation, but it's basically the life essence of a warlock that once used to live. So they're giving me a tutorial based on what she's doing. She just killed a monster, and they're telling me that I can hold down L when I'm next to the monster to save it, which will increase my life level and boost my defense, or I can hold down R to sacrifice to get power. So basically you have this like level wheel. It's like Paragon and Renegade. So the left one is your life level and the right one is your magic level. And you can level them up however you want. You can go like 20 levels on one, 30 on the other. You can go just 1 on life and just sacrifice everything and go 100. Up to 99 actually for magic. Of course you'll have like no defense, but you'll be very powerful. And there's all sorts of different builds and stuff. You're going to end up re-leveling yourself up so many times in this game that it doesn't actually matter that much. I would recommend that you pump in at least a good, probably if you're just going through the story, maybe like a good 30 in life, just to make sure that you have the defense, so you're not just like a one-hit, glass cannon. But don't worry about too much, because it's a mechanic we'll be doing a lot later. Now she killed a monster. I'm not quite ready to go over there. I want to show you off some of the other stuff. So this is create a weapon, and this is just a free weapon. We can use it until it runs out. I'm not sure how long this one particularly lasts for. I think it's probably something like 90 seconds or something, and I can just keep whapping away, which is cool. Press X to evade. Or if I just want to use up the entire offering to do one big attack, I can hold down the button. Chung! Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Sortiara, for killing everybody for me already. I haven't even done any battle. What, she just tried to punch me? Oh, she is so mean. And she's taking all the kills. So hold it down. She's such a badass. So if you notice, they're just little rats. Dying rats. So when a monster is near death, they will actually revert to their original form, whether it be a human or an animal or whatever. Then I can choose. Do I let it live or do I kill it? I don't even get to choose because she's just finished the quest for me. Darn you, Sortiara, so I'm going to go through and sacrifice a few. I'm not going to have enough time. Not to get all 5. I don't know where she killed the other ones. Now, that's the entire size of the map. So you see that was a small excursion, but I think I was able to show you off most of the basic functions of the battles, which is good. Except actually battling. So at the end of a battle, you will get different types of points depending on what you did. Whether you were really fast, you took no damage, you sacrificed a lot of monsters, whatever. And that will just add up and you'll get a rating. And depending on the rating, if you get the first class or the legendary sorcerer rating, you can earn certain items. So you want to get higher rankings in order to get some items. So it kind of reminds me of like Devil May Cry in that way, but it's not really stylish style points. It's just plain really good. And then it says Avalon's rewards. In recognition, well, thank you. It gives me an axe edge. Conjure a finely honed axe to repeatedly slash foes. Nice. It has 40 power. I can cast it 5 times, and if I cast it once, I can use it as much as I want for 60 seconds, or I can disarm it, or I can hold it down to do a big attack. Falcon Feather alters the caster's evasion, enables movement as swift as a falcon. Nice. Lasts for a minute. And these are what they call faction rewards. This says Avalon. In recognition of your efforts, Avalon hereby confers this reward upon you by Persepius, who is the leader of Avalon, which we'll learn about. So we get faction rewards. So these are just guaranteed kind of things that we get for doing quests, which is great. And they are aligned with the type of sorcerer that we're playing as. And then results. So I did good enough to earn a Falcon Feather S. Yay! Cool thing, I did get 2 axe edges, so I can show you that feature coming up. Hang on. So let's go on to next. And then it gives me a sort of overview of all the life essences and the soul essences that I got. So whenever you sacrifice a monster, you get a soul essence. And if you save it, you get a life essence. It's really cool. It gives you like 2 different types of drops that you can get from each monster in the game. And these also have different rarity ranks, which we'll see as we go on. And we unlocked some stuff in the game, of course. Let's save our progress.
Sortiara grinned, flashing her teeth after routing the goblins.
It's funny because she did rout the goblins. I don't think I did anything there.
It was the first time I saw her smile. I told her that she looked better when she was angry. She almost killed me for that. But little did I know that I would never see her smile again. And worse, the memory of her smile would haunt me forever.
Wait! I almost forgot. This journal can be altered slightly. Only certain special pages, of course. Here, let me show you. This is a portrait of a previous sorcerer. But this is a portrait that can be retouched, thus changing the appearance of the sorcerer in the stories.
Character create. We can change this stuff at any time, so it really doesn't matter too much, but I will go with my typical character here. Raiment are just visual outfits. Your actual armor that gives you skills is a different thing. I think this was a collaboration thing that they gave you. Oh, the Gravity Days. Gravity Girl. I only have color A's, so you can unlock different colors as you go through the game. As you see, color A is this, B is red, C blue, D is green, E yellow, orange, or gold, and then your faction, which is red. I will stick with this. And accessories are just more visual stuff that go on top of your head. You can change your voice. Standard stuff.
You know, no one remembers the name of this long-lost sorcerer. But we can't very well leave it blank. Fill in your own name, will you?
Don't mind if I do.
This person belongs to the distant past. No one will mind if you smudge them out of existence. Look, you're going to love this. Wipe the moisture around my eye.
Yeah, so anytime you complete a quest, you will have this moisture build up around his eyes. Good thing is you don't have to do this after every quest. It'll just keep accumulating, and you can just reclaim it whenever you want. So we will press R2 to simulate a touch. Yeah, so his tears, I guess you would call them. Of course, he doesn't want you to say that. Are called, well, let's find out how he pronounces it.
That droplet on the tip of your finger, it can be put to great use. You can use it to erase portions of the records within me. But only parts of them, mind you. New droplets will form again in time. Check back now and then. Oh, and by the way, these are not tears, you miserable troll.
Let's talk to him again.
I feel hungry. No, you know, I think I'm full. I'm not even sure. I can't digest food anyway.
Lots of funny little jokes. So the portraiture is the page about the owner of the journal, and changes can be made to each category. So this is just your equip screen. So you can change your appearance, you can change your name. There's other things that will unlock as we go on. And let's go ahead and change our offerings since we earned some new ones. So assign offerings to change the spells you take on quests. Customize 2 palettes of 3 offerings each. You can also drag icons from the right to left to assign, which we can't do since we're playing on the PlayStation TV. So we got all of our buttons right here. So this is the first default one that pops up, and when you press R, it tabs over to this one. So let's go ahead and put quick movement feather. So you can bring up to 2 offerings of one type into a phantom quest. That, though it is said that a special sigil can relax this restriction. Yeah, so if we tab over using R, you can see we have blood, weapon, arm, homing, evasive. There's a lot of other categories. It's about 30 something, but we'll unlock those as we play. We did actually get a better blood spell, which is the silver one, the Sanguine Cannon. So this costs a medium amount of health. This costs a large amount, but does double the power. Casts unlimited, range short, element none, which non-elemental is very good. So let's go ahead and put the axe here. We'll put the bone here. And, I mean, if we have it, we may as well equip it, right? So we'll put that there. Perfect. Okay, we'll get to the rest in due time. And a very mysterious postscript. One last thing to be noted. My name. Before I forget it. Forgetting one's existence. A fate worse than death. My name is... Contained within these pages is proof of my existence. So no spoilers in the chat down below. If you guys... Or chat, the comments. If you guys already know it, don't spoil it. But we will eventually get there at the end of this playthrough. Okay, let's continue on the Mad Chronicle. So if you see here, we have a bunch of stuff that we can select. Eventually, I'll explain it once we have them, but let's continue on with Sortiara, which is the Sorcerer's Ordeal. So you see we have a total of what appears to be, what is this, like 7 chapters? So let's go ahead and do this chapter.
Half of those who attempt the Sorcerer's Ordeal will die. This was perhaps the only thing we knew for sure. The grueling Sorcerer's Ordeal is administered by Avalon. By passing the ordeal, one could join the society and become a fully fledged sorcerer. She was just another person who signed up along with me.
Follow my lead. Death to all.
Anything I told her fell upon deaf ears. But I knew this could work in my favor. I was wise to keep my distance, so that I could be done with her when the time came. And we both knew that eventually that time would come. Better not to get too attached.
Okay, Extermination Pack. We are now tasked on going to the Arboreal City, Babylon Heights, to fight orcs. I love how they're orcs, but they're actually cats. From when you select a quest, you can go and you can actually change out your loadouts before you go in there, which is nice. We can see our rewards, and yeah, let's relive this one, but let's do this one fast so we can get a good rating. I need some items. I need some new offerings. Most sorcerers belong to an organization called Avalon. Joining is proof one has come of age as a sorcerer. One of my earliest memories is of my parents telling me about necessary evils. My parents were sorcerers. It was fated that their path would become mine. The blood-stained path I walk to this day.
Follow in my wake.
Yeah, so they're just teaching me the camera controls. So let's lock onto this guy here. Yeah, let's get some power. What is this, a little cat? Aww. You know, I'll save it because I'm a cat person. We'll save the cats. I don't know if I'll do that for the whole playthrough. Oh, I can't. I do actually need to sacrifice. So sacrificing renews offering strength. Avalon sorcerers gain the following effects. Restore offering when you sacrifice, or restore some health when you save.
Quick, make a sacrifice.
So one cool thing is when I use a quick movement, now that my evades are like this, I can pair that with a weapon. So for example, I bring out this. Now when I'm holding down and I'm running, I can press triangle to do these crazy, awesome, powerful, like dash attacks. And they don't use up the whole offering. I can do this as many times as I want as long as the offering is active, which is nice. Using that with lock on, you can really do some crazy spam. Sortiara is looking, so let's go ahead and sacrifice a bunch of stuff. Keep your... Hey, see? I've gained a level. Ha 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 ha. Hopefully she'll be happy. Anything for Sortiara. Completed. Yay! First rate Sorcerer. I wanted legendary, but we got first rate. It's still good. Some sweet rewards. We got a new healing seed, which will allow us to recover 300 health. We can cast it 3 times, and it says heal solo. What they mean is it just heals me. It doesn't heal any of my teammates or my NPCs that are with me. Ice Carving Lid S. Shield of Ice stops a number of blows, crumbles if the user attacks. Okay, so it's just a nice big shield. Shields we'll use actually through this playthrough. I really like shields. There's a lot of enemies that will try to like rush at you, and if you hit them with the shield, like it's like they run into a wall and you can actually knock them over. It's quite nice. That lasts for 30 seconds and we can cast it 10 times.
Sortiara mercilessly pounded away at the slaughtered monster.
So here we can continue the story or we can actually back out, but we're just going to continue for now.
It was dead beyond any doubt. I tried to stop her, but she glared at me enraged, saying,
Get in my way and you will be next.
It was nightfall. As we sat warming ourselves at the bonfire, I heard a sob. Sortiara was weeping, clutching her right arm. The Blight. A deformation of the right arm, the price we sorcerers pay to wield magic. The sight of her tears brought pangs to my heart. I gently caressed her back in solace. Her sobs echoed in the dark of night. I could only imagine her pain as my hand rested upon her sobbing frame.
You know that woman who appears in the journal? You would be wise to watch her closely. She'll have an impact on our author.
The arm smarts. It was an odd expression, but Sortiara spoke of her bloodlust thus. This monster was once human. A sorcerer who had misused his magic and transformed himself into a monster. We sorcerers are tasked with the disposal of such lost men. Looking at the beast, Sortiara said,
Don't think, kill.
it was an order. As if I needed to be told. We all know that sorcerers are in the business of murder.
Okay, so we are going on an extermination pact to dispose of Jack-o'-lantern in the plains of Olympia. So one cool thing is we can check out the lore right here, or we can check it out in the encyclopedia later. But let's check it out now. I actually think I want to do that for this playthrough, but do let me know in the comments down below if you would prefer me to save that as its own video, or if doing it as we go along is going to be good. I think it would be cool to do it as we go along, only because it gives context into who these monsters are. And it's kind of cool to know that ahead of time. Before we go into the lore, though, let me go into Arm Yourself. Am I able to fuse stuff yet or no? I am not. Let's go ahead and put on some healing, though. We'll put on our Ice Shield, Ice Spell. Actually, we'll put the healing up here. Boost, and yeah, I'll keep the giant arm instead of the... No, actually, you know what? I like the axe. It's faster. So let me use that instead. Okay, so let's go and check out the lore of Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern. These are not narrated, by the way, so I will be reading them. Perhaps you already know the story of the war, of the Romulus Empire seeking world domination, and the sorcerers rising up against them. The damage incurred remains widespread. Among the victims, there arose a curiosity known as Jack-o'-lantern. Even in triumph, the Empire sacrificed many soldiers in the struggle. However, some warriors were not afforded a warrior's death. They say it was the sorcery pervading the battlefield. They did not die like men. To this day, their fight continues. For their soldiery regrets remained and strove to rouse their lifeless flesh. But bereft of strength, their bodies failed to respond. Yet still they could not die, for king and for country. Though their hearts had stopped beating, they tried to rise again. In miraculous fashion, their undying resolve bonded with the remnants of sorcery filling the air. The will of the soldiers began to manifest from the junk of weaponry and armors around them. As the wreckage accumulated, it assumed an almost human shape. Overcoming the bonds of flesh, their intense longing had taken form. And despite losing their human frame, the soldiers emerged again. As armor and blades grew in giant clusters, some said they looked like pumpkins raised on the battlefield. A faint glow emanated from their cores like a lamp. Aptly named Jack-o'-lantern, these aberrations are now a common sight in the ravaged fields of war. Knowing nothing but endless battle, they fight without pause. Despite losing their humanity and all sense of self, they remain of this world. A grotesque existence. Oops. Well, that's awful sad. So I guess these are Jack-o'-lanterns are just warriors that died on a battlefield that was filled with wretched magic, and the will of the warrior has been transformed into a mechanical junk. And we're going to the plains of Olympia. I'm not going to get into all this right now. This is all optional lore we can enjoy later. But we will read the stories of the characters. So yeah, let's go on this quest. Now, of course, there is a weakness and strength system in this game. So, for example, if they're weak to ice, they're weak to fire, stuff like that, of course. So the monsters must be punished, even if they show their humanity. Killing in the name of justice, a sorcerer's duty. Tactical advice. Shields are effective against enemies' charges. Take advantage of the enemy's elemental weaknesses. If you catch fire, perform evasive actions to put the fire out. Oh, come on, every monster hunter knows that. So it's nice that they set us up against a charging monster right after we got an ice shield, because they want us to learn how to use it. It's a small but very cool looking map from Olympia. I don't know, name the Greek god, I don't know. But somebody lost their head. So this is battlefields.
Don't second guess yourself. Murder is what we're here for.
I think she enjoys it a little too much. Yeah, so one thing I want to show you, and this is kind of neat, is where is the boss? Yeah, the boss isn't here yet. You have to sort of like trigger the boss and activate them. Soul Shard. That's good. She's gone and killed everybody. Thanks. Renew offering power. Inject arm with power. What is this? Is this like an arm attack? Yeah, so it's like a free arm spell. That's nice. We are now the, what is it, the one punch man or whatever? Guy with the yellow cape. Get rid of that. Let's save a few lives. So if you see right there in the background, that is the boss. And they will just stand there stationary until you confront them, which is nice. So it allows you to get a good grasp of the area. Perhaps even arm yourself up with stuff and kill all the small little minions, and then go at it against the big one. So I'm going to put up my ice shield ahead of time. I don't know what he's up to. Oh, now they're going to teach me about... I'm sorry, I've already taught everybody about this. Mind's Eye allows perception of the usually invisible, though it prevents you from casting spells. Green and red, monsters or allies, low health, high or low. Red on a monster is a cursed part. Purple is an ill-cursed part. So basically these are just part breaks that you want to go for. White is a point of interest, and blue is a soul shard. I can't use Mind's Eye right now because I have my shield up. So that broke, so we're going to quick deal away with that. And switch over and attack. So if you notice, we can break the arm. Let's try to do that. That again. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this. So you can see we've got two cursed arms, the two arms, and the head. So those are the parts we want to aim for to break. Oh, was she? Oh, she destroyed one of the arms. Okay. No, she destroyed the head. Okay. Let's go after the arms. This is almost exhausted. Oh, when he died, we didn't get to get the full breaks. That's what I get for not being used to be using these things. So if you notice, he was just armor and gear and stuff and lit a flame like a jack-o'-lantern. So when you're up against a boss, they call them archfiends. Because they all used to be human, and that applies to just about all the bosses in the game. And we do get the choice. We can save them, or we can slaughter them.
I can't die. Not like this.
Is there anything else I want to collect before we end the quest?
That's what I came.
Oh, yeah. Killing, that's what I can. She's so eager to just kill. It's hilarious.
Make the sacrifice. Put the bloody thing out of its misery. Kill it. That's...
This girl has got some serious issues. But we'll learn about them as we play. So let's go ahead and keep her on our good side, even though it doesn't matter. It's our choice. Let's go ahead and sacrifice him. I think he needs to be put out of his misery. Sorry, soldier. The war is over.
Drown this world in blood.
Press F in chat. We got his soul essence, though. This would be a really fun game to stream, but I'm just not a streamer. I'm a single father. I don't know when I'm able to play and for how long. For all you know, this playthrough was split up against 4 different sessions where I was interrupted by the door ringing or something like that. You'll never know. Got first-rate Sorcerer. We took way too long because I was explaining everything. We got an Iron Drake egg, which is an explosive, so we can throw it and it launch as a metallic mortar in an arc, which is very fun. It's basically a bomb that we can throw. Iron Mill, launch a flurry of metal blades to strike one of our enemies down, so this is more like a long range weapon. Nice. Fire Tree Root, which is another one of those homing ones, but it's for fire, which they're calling heat. And the Soldier's Ember. So if you notice, from every monster in the game, every boss, there are 2 spells that you can get, 2 offerings. I'm going to use those terms interchangeably, just so you know. So the one that we got from him is the Soldier's Ember. Awaken the magic of the Jack-o'-lantern to become a Juggernaut. So this is a morph. This will transform us into it. It does 180 power. You cast it 3 times, and it lasts for 15 seconds. That's going to be fun. Let's check that out. We didn't get the second type of spell from him because we didn't break all his parts. And that's how you get the second one, is by breaking all the parts. So let's go ahead, and I kind of want to do that just to show you. All of our shards. Very nice.
We took care of that lost soul. Yes, we did. The sensation of flaying flesh was not easily forgotten. This is what sorcerers do. Murder. In his final breath, I heard a faint voice say, "Help me." Death to monsters. The creed of the sorcerer. Whether I liked it or not, I had to live with it. We peered at his corpse, and Sortiara said this.
Take a good look. One of us will share his fate.
The Ordeal plodded onward towards the dreadful conclusion she suggested.
Whatever you learn in these pages will stay with you in this world. Eventually, you will learn to cast magic on your own. Then, you'll have a chance at bringing Magosar to his knees.
Okay, so I'm going to go back here for a second, and we have some stuff to do. So, the game doesn't explain it to you for some reason, but it did say that we unlocked the ability to boost an offering. So the offerings can now be boosted. I'm not sure if I like that term, but press the triangle button to boost an offering of which you have 2 or more. A boost gives the impression that it's like temporary, like you're only boosting it now for like the next hunt, but that's not it at all. This is actually, in Japanese, they call it fusion. So you're fusing together 2 copies of the same spell to make it more potent, and it's permanent. So for example, we have 2 of the Soldier's Ember, so we're going to go ahead and press triangle, and we are then able to fuse them together. See, they do use fusion up here to make this a 1-star version of the spell, and it goes up to 3 stars. So this increases the cast from 3 usages to 4. Sometimes it increases the power, the duration, it depends on the spell. So 2 vanilla equals 1 star. And the same thing works. If you want to make a 2-star one, you need 2 1-star versions. If you want to make the final level 3-star one, you have to have 2 2-star versions. So you can see the grind gets very addicting very fast. Because you find a spell you like, and your first inclination is to just go back into the hunt, do it again, break the parts, get the spells, fuse them, make them even more powerful, and then continue onward. It's great. And this is the bronze version of the spell. There is a silver and gold and black version later on as we progress through the game, all the way up to what is basically G rank. But for now, this is where we're at. Luckily, it doesn't cost anything. There's no cost like in-game currency or anything associated. So it's kind of best practice to just go through and just boost, I guess. I'm going to say fuse. I don't like boost. But just do pretty much all the different spells. Later on in the game, you might hit a point where you want to have 2 of the same offering to put up here, so you can use 2 of the same one. But for now, I think the good idea is to just, you know, buff them up so that you can get the better versions. Okay, so... yeah, I boosted it, but I had it equipped, so I've got to re-equip it. Can I boost any of these? Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I don't have duplicates of those, so I only have 1. So I think I've boosted everything, so that's good. So let's put on our transformation. I do want to see that in motion. So move that here. We've got our axe. We're going to move up. Healing here. Don't want the blood spell. I don't use it that often, so let's change that to the bomb so I can show you what that does. And let's make sure we're using the right one. We do want the ice shield, since we are going to use it to topple the boss and then hack away at him. The bomb should be very good though for helping us decide the direction, so we should be able to use this to great effect to break all the parts of the monster. So I'm feeling pretty good. If you notice, there's a thing called INT, the intelligence. What that does is it's basically based upon how many unique offerings you've gotten in the game. So they really want to encourage you to not only fuse spells together, but they want you to break all the parts of all the monsters so you can collect all the different types of offerings. And there is a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So, like, look at these. You can't even see a lot of the things, but there's like 36 different mines. It's kind of crazy. And they show you like which quests you can get them on. You could just quick jump to them and stuff. It's very well done. Okay. So I'm going to go back to 3. And I want to break the second part of the jack-o'-lantern. I'm going to do that using bombs and a shield. Wish me luck. Sortiara she's pretty powerful, so she might accidentally kill the monster before I get to do everything. Monsters must be punished even if they show their humanity. I don't know. You know what? We're gonna save him this time. He deserves it. He's just a soldier doing his duty. Okay, so you can press the start button to skip these scenes, which is nice. So let me get my boost up and running. Let me show you what the jack-o'-lantern summon does. Look at this thing. It's so great. It's like, charge! And you can charge forward. It's quite nice. And then the bomb is like this. Oh, he's activated. Okay. So, head and arms. So let's go for the arms, shall we? Oh, here he comes. Oh, did I just waste that? I thought he was coming at me.
Use mind's eye to learn about enemies and surroundings.
There we go. Ouch.
First, that charge needs to be put in check.
That rat is getting annoying really fast. Let's take care of this rat. It's being annoying.
Quick, make a sacrifice.
Which part is left? Okay, let's get the other arm.
Make it rain. I'll bleed you dry.
I'm not used to playing on the PlayStation TV, so I apologize if the camera is a little disorienting. Destroyed all cursed parts achieved. And that's it. So his head and his arms are done. If you notice, like Monster Hunter, we don't see the actual hit points for them right now, but we do get an inclination if they're like under 50%, under 30% health, and stuff like that. Let's go finish him off in style, shall we? And much to Sortiara's dismay, I'm going to save this monster. Because I can. It's a book. She's going to fight me on it, though. She wants to kill it, if you notice. So if you're doing multiplayer, which you can right now, it's actually majority rules. So if, like, 2 people are trying to save and one's trying to sacrifice, you're going to end up saving. She's all upset. You imbecile. Sorry, I'm not worthy. Hey, dude, you're saved. You can thank me later. I'll give you my bank account. Oh, shoot. I didn't grab that. Saved. Rapid quest. Nice. Legendary Sorcerer. Okay, so that was a good run. Okay, so we got the Imp Pitchfork. Conjure an accursed pitchfork to repeatedly stab foes. 30 power, heat, 5 casts, lasts for a minute. And we got the second break piece, which is Soldier's Gauntlet. So this is a special type of magic. It says, awaken the magic of the Jack-o'-lantern. A flying fist seeks foes. It's a mid-range casting one that will, well, we'll see what it does. So this is great. This is our reward for getting the Legendary Sorcerer. I believe that's first rate and second rate. I could be wrong, though. These are just faction rewards, and these are the 2 parts. So this is great. Now they are going to ask whether we want to rewrite the result, and I am going to hit yes. And if you notice, we now have an NPC that has joined us, called Endir. So this soldier has a divine arm, so he actually prefers to save rather than to sacrifice. It says the monster was saved, its human form restored. With deep gratitude, they left these words. I will never forget this, and when the day comes, I will repay you in kind. Sure hope so.
Flaunting the rules, I offered my hand. This monster had taken countless lives. But even so, I had never heard such a sincere thank you. It was a wonderful thing to hear. In the end, we had shirked our duties. I decided at least to relish the moment. We had spared a life, and it was a good thing.
So that's nice. They give you an alternate ending if you save the monster versus killing it. So, before we go on to Sorcerer's Ordeal 4, we'll quick rebuff ourselves up, and then we will just start plowing through the last few chapters. So, let me go in here. If you notice, we now have 2 more of these embers. We're going to go ahead and fuse those. And now we have 2 of... I should just unequip it so you can see. How do I unequip? Okay, so if you notice, we can now boost it, and that becomes level 2. Instead of 4 casts, we get 5. Even better. Okay, so we're going to make the pitchfork our new default weapon. I really like this weapon. It's very nice. In general, I think the overall popular thing to do is to have one evasion type of move, one heal type of move, one defensive move like a shield or armor or something, and then 3 attack spells, or maybe like 1 buff and 2 attacks. You don't want to run out of spells to attack with. It generally doesn't happen, but it can. I have this weird feeling we're going to be going up against something that has heat, because we just did heat. So I'm going to go and bring that with me. This is where I was making like those references to Mega Man. The idea of defeating a boss monster to get their parts, their abilities, to infuse yourself with them to take on another boss. To me, maybe existed before Mega Man, but like as a kid when Mega Man 1 came out, that was like brand new to me. And that's kind of like at a very crude, fundamental, rudimentary level. Like that's kind of what Monster Hunter is built upon, right? Is that type of concept. Although again, it's super crude. I love it. Okay, let's plow through this story now that we're making progress.
Had she lied to me? She had told me from the very beginning.
Beware. I will kill you in an instant if it furthers my aims.
But then something happened that made me wonder. She shielded me from a monster, as if prepared to die for me. But why? I have no value to one such as her. It made little sense. But whatever the case, it may be harder than I had thought to let this woman die. I was determined to overcome this fight.
Okay, so our next adventure is going off against the Arviste Ghoul. Forgive me if I mispronounce stuff. These are just beasts. These are just regular old monsters. I do love the idea of this bird with a skull in its mouth. So let's read about the ghouls really fast. So crows are omnivorous creatures. Omnivorous? I don't know. They love nothing more than to feed on carrion, even the flesh of fallen sorcerers. Some crows know that feeding on a dead sorcerer yields a curious power. When crows absorb sorcery, it builds up within them, fanning the flame of their desire. The sharper ones amongst you might be asking, but what do crows desire? Yes, Lucifer. The answer is that they wish to imitate humans. The truth is that crows have always been one of the most intelligent species of birds, and their sharp minds have led them to one clear conclusion. In order to ensure a better future for their species, they must learn from the most intelligent creature of all, man. Don't learn from man. Man is dumb. Those crows that absorbed sorcery learned from mankind and began to build their own society. Before long, clear divisions arose in the society between the rulers and the ruled. The ruling class mercilessly exploited those beneath them. Whenever the lower order of crows found food, they had to give a share to their rulers. A mirror to humanity. Exactly. Humans are bad. In time, the upper class awakened to concerns beyond mere survival. If a crow from the lower orders picked up a shiny object, an elite crow would often steal it to use as an adornment. They did this in the imitation of the ruling classes in human societies. Humans would adorn their garments with jewels to display their status. There were no limits to the greed of the ruling crows. Their society was a fine mirror indeed. But it was not enough to simply mimic mankind. The next step was to surpass it. Not hard. And precisely because they were intelligent, the crows knew that the intelligence alone would not be enough to achieve this. The reason man ruled the world was because his greed surpassed that of all other creatures. To surpass man, it was necessary to become greedier than him. The rulers of the crows had not forgotten. They still remembered where they had that first taste of greed and desire. It was upon tasting of the body of a sorcerer. They knew their greed would grow stronger with repetition of this act, and so these magically altered crows began to hunt sorcerers, and finally became known as ghouls, feared and despised by sorcerers. Let's go kill some. These poor things, they were all focusing on trying to be human. I carried Sortiara to a shady spot. Lying there unconscious, she looked like any other girl. She could have been anyone. My father was also a sorcerer. He died battling a monster, but it was not the monster that killed him. It was his companion that ended his life. My father was sacrificed. An honorable death. I feel no sadness. He made me promise not to. Oh. Get ready for heartbreak. This game has a lot of it. So, what does this new spell do? I am Iron Man! That's awesome. And it's really good for taking down flying birds. Go figure. Die, bird. Show you what the pitchfork does. I like this pitchfork. Save the cats. We'll save the cats. Ouch. And we'll also get to heal some life, which is nice. Eee. Let me turn off the spell. Iron Man! We're going crow hunting. Oh, is it still alive? Burn! That is a crispy bird. This is how chicken nuggets are made, everybody, just so you know. Knock it down, and then stab it with a fork. Poor bird. It never stood a chance, not against me. If you notice this quest, we don't have Sortiara with us because she was injured, because she took a blow for us. Nice little detail there. There's no difference between these ones, whether you sacrifice or save the monsters, because they're just small ones. They're not actually characters. We got a mole claw. Alters the caster's evasion, enables underground burrowing. So basically this allows us, instead of doing like a fast dash, we'll jump underground and then do like a shoryuken out of the ground. It's pretty cool. Allows you to break certain parts easier as well.
Why did you look after me? I asked Sortiara as she awoke. I was dismissed.
Leave me be.
Her tone was not to be trifled with. As she took to her feet, she muttered something.
I felt at peace when I felt your touch.
Is that why she shielded me from that beast? A gentle touch. I meant it as nothing more. She gave me only curt replies.
Shut your mouth. Be quiet, half-wit. Is it death you crave?
Her answers were always the same and never rang true.
That's Sortiara. She keeps her heart under lock and key. But apparently she was pleased when you touched her back. Go on. Keep reading and see for yourself.
Oh darn it, I accidentally hit the confirm button twice really fast.
It is beyond my control.
That was how she explained the bloodlust within her.
The sight of blood disgusts me.
Sortiara said this with a sigh. She continued despondently.
Yet no one believes me.
I told her that was not true. She calmed herself and said,
Thank you.
We heard a howl from dead ahead. The appointed victim of my ordeal. I finally understood my partner, and the ordeal would soon end. I knew this was coming. I knew that our partnership was cursed. And that one of us would have to die.
Ooh, this is getting deep and gloomy. So we're going up against a Harpy in the Valhalla Abbey Sanctuary. Disgusting beast. So let's quick read up on Harpy. There was once a noble woman of monstrous proportion. That's one way of putting it. Formerly slender of frame, an incident occurred that changed her forever. A broken heart. Actually, I can relate. Having a broken heart can lead to comfort eating. Grief-stricken, she turned to food to plug the hole in her heart, and as her appetite grew, so did her sighs. One day, she left her mansion to sate her gut, which was her custom. Her knees ached under her ballooning weight. Walking was now, alas, something of a struggle. On arriving at a nearby market, she spied her favorite fruit at a stall and toddled over. Just as she arrived, the vendor stood up and their eyes met. On that day, at that stall, she fell in love once more. Thereafter, she visited every day. Lovesickness whetted her appetite even more, but even as she ate, she became sensitive about her size. How could anyone love this profound rotundity? I don't know that word. But the more her worries ate away at her, the more she had to eat. And then, one day without warning, their love was rent asunder. The street vendor was nowhere to be found. Inquiring among the street vendors, she learned that he'd moved far off town. Utterly distraught, she returned to her mansion and wept. She yearned to see him, but her excess encumbrance ruled out long-distance travel. Soon, exhausted from weeping, she heard a strange voice and was greeted by the vision of a chalice. To fulfill your desire, you must make an offering. The voice kindled hope in her heart, and she obeyed its instructions. She harbored up her larpy surplus. Her blubbery corpulence flowed like tallow and reformed as mighty wings. With a flap, she darted into the sky like a bird, and in no time at all, she arrived at her beloved's new town. Searching from on high, she spied him, but he was not alone. The vendor was married and living happily with his new wife. She stared in blank amazement. Once again, her heart had been broken. Why? This was the worst she could have possibly imagined, and yet she felt strangely unmoved. How could she feel so calm? And I thought myself in love with that man, and yet nothing. She gazed at the street vendor from afar. Neither his looks nor status appealed one jot. Still, she couldn't deny the powerful spark of emotion the day they first met. Then it occurred to her. It wasn't love that she had felt. Certainly, it was an intense desire, but it was something altogether different. Come to think of it, she had fallen for him upon spying her favorite fruit. Doesn't he look scrumptious? She had craved his flesh so terribly she thought herself in love. As the street vendor pleaded for his life, she gurgled, "My, what an exquisite treat you shall be." She swallowed him whole, but it was not enough to satisfy her hunger. She proceeded to devour everything he had. She ate his wife. She ate his livestock. She even ate his home and furnishings. She gorged and gorged until sharp pains ran through her stomach and she fainted. In her unconscious state, the voice whispered to her once more. Deep within her heart, she screamed of her insatiable hunger. "More! I want to eat more!" Again, her flesh melted away and her stomach opened into a gaping hole. Now, with this hole, she would be able to expel anything she ate immediately. Nothing would settle in her stomach. She would never be full again. She could relish the pleasure of eating eternally and continually. She couldn't have been happier. Though her humanity was forfeit, hers was a fitting conclusion. It is said she looks down from the sky even now, scouring the land for a deliciously handsome man to pounce upon. Poor lady. Okay. She's a harpy, so she's got feathers, so you would assume that heat is going to be very strong against her. I could have suffered worse than traveling with you, Sortiara said before reaching our journey's end. Don't die, will you? Offering auto restore. An offering's power is restored at the end of a phantom quest, provided it was not destroyed. Of course, yes, that doesn't carry over, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and let this play out since this is a new location.
I am lucky you're my partner. Now, let us be off.
Well, her tone certainly has changed since the first time we met, wouldn't you say? Okay.
Quick, make a sacrifice.
Gain some levels here. Uh-oh, it's the Harpy. Oh, gosh. It's frightening, isn't it? So where are the breakable parts? We got 2 wings and the head. Sounds like a good place. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, she got me. And out we come. I do like the text that shows when you're fighting a monster. I don't know the language that they're screaming all the time, but I do like that you get a sort of idea of how they were tormented. Let's break those wings. I got another rat in my face. Okay, so we blew off her wings. Let's get her head. Ouch. Leave me alone. Ouch.
What are you playing at?
And everybody's all hitting me. Oh, she's down too. This is my chance. I missed it. There we go. We got all of her parts. Poor thing. I'm Iron Man! Yeah, the hunts in this game are actually pretty fast. They're about, I'd say, anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes, so it's very, very good for the portable machine, the Vita. And very good because of the grinding nature. Oh, is this what she looked like before? You know what? I have to spare her. I feel bad because, like, she was grieving. She got bigger. It was hard. I'm not a skinny guy myself. I can relate. Sorry, Sortiara. Hope you don't mind. She deserves a second chance, I think. Even though she did some pretty horrible stuff. Hey, Cam, give me a break, will ya? Look at her. She's trembling in thankfulness. Anything interesting worth picking up? Not really. Okay. Yeah, baby. So the counters are like when a small monster or a large monster is about to attack you. If you hit them in a certain way, you can knock them out of it, and that's what's called a counter. So that was perfect. What do we get? So we got the green giant's arm. Gives the user a giant arm of venom to repeatedly pummel foes. So this is just another one of those large arms, but of the venom type. We've got a Leaf Drake Bomb, which is of the Venom type. Noble Woman's Curio. Awaken the magic of the Harpy to blast nearby enemies with a shriek. So this is a roar attack. This is really good if you have lots of little small enemies around you. You can roar. You can also do weird stuff later in the game, like put on armor and then charge your roar, and it blows the armor off your body and damages everything around you. It's pretty cool. And we got the Lass's Flesh Feather. Oof, what a name. Awaken the magic of the Harpy to conjure a front-facing whirlwind. So this is a special attack that has power. Very good. And we got her life essence. Her name is Bren. The monster was saved as human for the board, and then she'll be paid in kind. And she's a neutral arm, so she doesn't specialize in magic or life. She's a mix of both. Good stuff.
We survived. The monster was vanquished, and we both had our lives. But all was not well. Half of all who undertake this ordeal forfeit their lives. That much was unmistakable. Indeed, that is why I was careful not to grow too close to Sortiara. But nevertheless, the truth was simple. I thought of her as a friend. I realized this was dangerous. My resolve was being tested. My resolve as a sorcerer. There was only one thing to do. I had to make a sacrifice for the ordeal. I had to sacrifice the life of my partner.
I don't like Avalon. I don't like that they make two would-be sorcerers team up and basically have to kill one or the other, which is why half the participants fail.
Quite a mad indoctrination, was it not? The vile Sorcerer's Ordeal. Could you walk over an ally's corpse to achieve your goals? For that's the sort of metal the Ordeal demands. Just one step away from completion. I had to stop myself from feeling any sense of camaraderie. For such emotions could only get in the way. So much happened on the journey. Sortiara was at once cruel and kind, barbarous and gentle. These memories haunt me. I wish them gone, I do. For they tear away at my heart. My eyes met hers. She probably felt exactly the same as I did. Her memories live on. It is the only consolation there is on this cruel ordeal we faced together.
Uh-oh. The final test. Sacrifice your partner. That's just mean. And we have unlocked a new thing called Black Rites. Black Rites are taboo spells cast by sacrificing your flesh. Selected Black Rite can only be used when near death. After activation, you will pay a dear price. So for this one, which is your default one, is Infernus. The prices are skin. Offer your skin to gain the power of flame. Fire blankets surrounding enemies during rite. Pay the price with defense reduced by half. Yeah, so you'll do a massive fire attack that's like 2,500 damage if you're Avalon. And then afterwards your defense is halved. So it makes it very easy to die afterwards. As you go down the path of leveling up your magic, you'll unlock additional Black Rites. And then as you go down the path of leveling up your life levels, you'll also unlock some new rites as well, each doing a different body part in effect. My father was sacrificed, but I bear no grudge. Indeed, if I feel any resentment, it is towards the monsters he fought. That is why I shall undergo the ordeal, to create a world free of monsters. Avalon has agents who eliminate those who disobey the rules of the ordeal. This cold-blooded murder is unavoidable. So it's killed or be killed. They ordered him to do it, and he knows if he doesn't, she will. Or the order will kill him, so he has no choice. We can still try, though.
Fighting against you is so trying. Still, it will only take an instant to kill you.
Sorry, honey, I got game tutorial on my side.
At least now.
Eat Harpy Wind.
This led me to despise all the world had to offer. But then I met you. I never needed your friendship. I should even have it.
I'm not killing you.
Why did you?
The fight goes on.
Does this not make it harder?
Yes, it does. So let me go ahead and turn on the fast feather. It's a little spammy, but the holding down run to get this swift slash is by far the fastest way to defeat stuff. Where'd she go? Oh. No. I'm not killing you. I refuse. You're my partner.
Why did you help me? Does this not make it harder?
Yeah, she's not gonna make it any easier for me, is she? You die so that I can do this series on YouTube. I'm sorry, honey. It's a cruel world. Oh, I ran out. I used it too much. I broke my spell. Fine then. Avalon wins. Player 1 eliminated. Get a Volt spell. Oh, that's why they didn't call it fuse, and they were calling it boost because you do also fuse two different offerings together to make a brand new one, a completely different one. So, okay, it makes sense then. Wow, we just acquired a lot of new quests and sigils. These are basically armor pieces. These are things that you equip onto your right arm. This is the Vigor Sigil 1. This will increase our base health, which is 1,000 to by another 150. And if we have a neutral arm, like our levels for magic and life are equal, we get an additional 50. We have the Slayer Sigil, which increases our attack by 10. Dark Arm 1, I believe, just means that you have like 10 levels, I think, higher of magic than you do of life. So you're like leaning more towards that direction. That will give you additional bonuses. Then we have the Divine Arm 1, which is if you choose to start saving people. This will amp your defense. And Sacrifice 1, so we'll give up attack for high defense. And then we have a Visual Arm piece, which is Sortiara's arm. They're calling it the Arm of the Mad Witch because she was plagued by bloodlust. Like it's just the visual arms have a small little bonus, so 5% attack, not a big deal. Poison recover, weapon magic amp, arm magic amp, shield magic extend. Yeah, so as you use spells, I think it's up to like 370 times you use one, you'll start unlocking the ability to obtain these sigils. To get higher levels, so that they get increased bonuses. We'll go through these in episode 2. I'm not going to go through all of them. Let's watch the ending of Sortiara's chapter.
Sortiara's memories and emotions came flooding through my right arm. Along with something dark and terrifying. The blight of true sacrifice. It feels like she is still somewhere inside there. Sortiara's bloodlust is now my own. I dread to think of what will become of me, body or mind. And so, I started this journal. My ill fate may not be far off. The signs have begun to manifest. But even now, my right arm tells me that she is still here. With all of her hatred, all of her sorrow, and a dash of hope. This sensation is all that comforts me in my loss of a true friend. Several days later, my admittance into Avalon was confirmed. Avalon coordinated sorcerers and their monster extermination. It was here that I met him. The man with eternal life. Now we inaugurate the author's new life as a bona fide sorcerer. What travels now await you? You will see as more pages become available as phantom quests. Uh-oh! You're not ready to read the other pages. There are still a few pages that you need to read first. Sortiara's soul dwells in my right arm. The soul speaks to me in a faint voice. I have decided to jot down what I can make out, so that it may serve as a record. So that someone, somewhere, can one day read of the sorceress Sortiara.
There is no denying that I was insane. It was triggered when I discovered the secret of my birth. Defiled as I was, I came to despise the world and envy all within it. What an abhorrent woman I became. Detesting all the world offered, selfishness led to self-loathing. Deep within me, I nurtured a hideous monstrosity known as bloodlust. When we first became partners, you too were a target of my hate. With your righteous manner, you were everything I was not. Of course, I was terribly alone, living as I had for so long. I had never known a single friend. Until I met you. When you patted my back, that alone eased my suffering beyond measure. I felt happiness. If we had met under different circumstances, we could have been... No. That's unlike me. I allowed myself to imagine what could never be. And so I bear you no ill will. Although my life was spoiled by hatred, in my final moments, I felt what it means to be human. Thank you. However, I must apologize. My bloodlust has now passed into your right arm. Therein lies the terrible monstrosity reared deep within my soul. My first and final friend, I can only hope this foul horror will not beget your destruction. Until my dying breath, I prayed for only that.
What do you imagine our dear author thought of Sortiara's final words? The bloodlust inherited from Sortiara is a unique force indeed. With its power, our humble protagonist will influence the course of this very world. Go on and see how this grand tale unfolds.
That was heavy. And that is the intro, Sortiara, the Sorcerer's Ordeal. You can go back and play through these chapters, and you can get, obviously, different spells. Just reread it. She is not confined only to this story. She will come up as a major thing throughout the entire game. Obviously, the sacrifice affects this nameless sorcerer quite a bit. So as we progress, we have Magusar, which is the main story of the game, and then we have the side stories, which are the sorcerer's deeds. These I would consider part of the main story as well. See, it began right after the Avalon trial when Sortiara was lost. My life as a sorcerer, I mean. Sortiara's curse continued to consume my right arm. Several years would pass before I encountered Magusar. In the years before I first met Magusar, I roamed the land and talked to many sorcerers. From then, I learned new ways to do battle. For example, I was taught how to combo spells. A combo. Add Frost, Snow Tuft, and Axe Edge to add Frost magic to your attacks. Some magic combinations yield special results. For example, as I was showing you guys before, the Falcon Feather plus the Axe Edge allows you to close in swiftly to slash foes. This is kind of like a training room here. Use Axe Edge near Snow Tuft effect. So this is a Snow Tuft. It's just like a bunch of snow in the air. And we'll summon our axe, and it has absorbed it. And now it's an ice property axe. We do magical slashes. Go ahead and use our Falcon Feather, and you can see when we run, Swift Slash comes available. Yeah, so when we go over to Sorcerer Deeds, we can see the three major sanctions or factions of the world, which is Avalon, and there are a bunch of chapters in here, all focusing on our author's interactions with one of the key characters of that, not guild, but organization. So this one focuses on Carnatux, and we've got 4 chapters for him, and a bunch more down here of other characters. For Sanctuarium, which we will probably do in the next episode, because we want to get the character from there as soon as we can. And Grim, which was added in Delta. This was not there in the original Soul Sacrifice, which is based on the Dark Tales of Grim, and this one is a mysterious lady who you may have seen I have a statue of, who I like very much. We have a endgame contents, and then we have free quests. Those we will all get unlocked in good due time. Anyways, that's where I'm going to end episode 1 of my playthrough of Soul Sacrifice Delta. Sorry for all the heavy explanation on the game mechanics, but I want you guys to realize what the system is, how the game actually operates, because that's what makes it fun to play. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story of Sortiara. Again, her story is far from done, but this sets all the wheels in motion for the grand tale which is about to transpire. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy hunting.